everyone, this is Dani, and today I've got my 2017 year in review for you. Let's go ahead and get started. I do have all the planners that I used in 2017 out right now. At the beginning of 2017, actually before 2017 started, I tried to use my Hobonichi weeks. I purchased this in September of 2016 because I really thought that the layout would work well for me, since the week on one page with grid was a setup that I'd used a lot in my traveler's notebooks. So I did try and set this up in December for 2017, and it didn't really work out. Well, all I ended up doing really was this, and then I started, I guess, in January, and I did do like a couple weeks of plans in here. I think I covered them up or tore them out. Oh, here's one. Here's one where I tried, but the rest of it, I think I tried one more with just pen and it didn't really work out. It was really ugly. I ended up not liking it because it's just too narrow for me. The height is fine, but the width is a little too narrow for me. I can't really plan successfully in it. I've tried a few times and it just didn't work out, and that was that pretty much for this guy. After trying to use that, I went back into my personal size traveler's notebook, and I do have a video which I'll link up here for you. My fall 2016 setup, I believe. I'm not sure what notebook I was in, but I only have two personal size, or three technically, left. I did sell a bunch of my Chic Sparrows this year, but this is my Chic Sparrow Jitney Red. I was using this. The setup is basically the same as all my traveler's notebook setups. I think I have my insert from January in here. Yeah. So this was my January 2017 insert. I was using DIYFish and on Tomoe River. So that was that. This is just a daily I was testing out that I bought a long time ago. But yeah, so this is what I was using. DIYFish in a personal size traveler's notebook with an idea notebook, and then probably a monthly. Oh yeah, I was using a monthly. Actually, I know for a fact, but I moved that to my B6 Slim. And then this is just a wallet insert from Mellon Journal. She's my favorite wallet insert maker. I will link her down below. This is just basically storing stuff right now. I'm not really using it. So I used personal size for January through some of February. And then at the end of February, I decided to use my A6 Hobonichi for daily planning. I'd never done daily planning before because I just thought, you know, I don't have that much happening, so I can't really use daily pages. There's too much room. And I had actually been using, at the start of 2017, this A6 Hobonichi for journaling. That's why it's a little bit chunky. This was in my Giglio Appunto cover, my A6. Oh, that glare, sorry. I actually just sold that recently and to fund an A5 cover because, spoiler alert, that's my new favorite. And I did do some daily planning in here. Let me see. I've shared this before. So I did some journaling. Let's see. This was my very first. So at the very end of February is when I started daily planning. And that's what that looked like. I really actually loved daily planning in an A6. It was a lot of fun. I love the room that you have. I love that I could use big stickers, and even if I didn't have a lot going on, I could just put boring daily things in here, and it was awesome. Looking through this actually makes me want to move into the A6 again, makes me miss the dailies. But the reason why I actually ended up moving out of this, I think it was in June. Yeah. The reason why I ended up moving out of this in June was because I missed my weekly layout. So I was using the monthlies a little bit, I think. Yeah. And then using my dailies, which was great, but I missed having a weekly layout. So I ended up moving into my B6 Slim Traveler's Notebook. I actually purchased this, I think in May or June. And as soon as I got it, I started using it. This is my Ink Bandits A6, or not, sorry, not A6, B6 Slim Traveler's Notebook. It's empty right now because I actually moved my stuff into a different one, but I did move into this with a weekly insert from Homemade Craft. It was a vertical, more like Erin Condren week on 4-page layout, which I did make a setup, so I will link that up here for you too. That was my summer 2017, I think is what I called it, setup, which was in this notebook. And then July was coming up and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. While I was in this traveler's notebook, I missed my Hobonichi because I just love the paper. I really like the monthly setup. It's so simple and clean looking. Like, I don't know, I just like how it's pretty basic. There's nothing, the font is really clean. The paper, of course, is amazing. I know some people don't like Tomoe River, but it's my absolute favorite for sure. I love the thin paper. I love how crunchy it gets when you write in it, when you paint in it, whatever you do. It holds up so well to everything and I really like it. So I I missed this, but I wanted weeklies. And so what I did, I knew that Hobonichi had a weekly kind of a companion for the A6. And thankfully my friend John Rush, which I will link down below, I'm sure you're familiar with him, he's wonderful. He had this weekly companion from Hobonichi from 2016, which he didn't use. So he actually gifted this to me, which thank you so much, John. I really, really appreciated it. And I was so excited. I was like, okay, finally, I'll be able to use my A6 with dailies that I love, monthly that's wonderful, and have a weekly companion with the Hobonichi weekly layout that's in the cousin. However, I got this and was very disappointed to find that it's not A6 size. It's made to fit in the cover with the A6, but it's very small. It's pretty much, I got this field notes out here to compare for you. It's a little bit wider, barely wider than a field notes. So it's really small. The paper is still the wonderful Tomoe River with a good layout from the cousin. But I tried like mock planning. I transferred a couple of my weeks in here and it's so narrow. Like the columns are so narrow that they just didn't work out. I tried, you guys, like I really wanted to be able to use this setup just because the A6 works so well for me with the dailies, but this weekly is just way too small. And I didn't look at the measurements because I just assumed, which, you know, we shouldn't make assumptions, but I did. But it's just so small in comparison, so it didn't work out, unfortunately. So I decided, since this year's One Book July was also Go Big or Go Home, that I would go big. I decided to sell the second half of my A6 because I got the Avec version. I ended up selling that, and I bought this, which is an A5 Avec for the last 6 months of the year. And I ordered this cover. I just found it on Etsy and absolutely loved it. This is from LunaBlueBags on Etsy. I think her shop is on vacation right now. It actually might be back, I'm not sure. Karen, the owner, is wonderful. She's super sweet. I bought multiple things from her now. She makes pouches too that are really cool. Her fabric choices are awesome. And I'm so in love with it, you guys. If you watch my 2018 setup, you'll see that my Hobonichi is currently in a different cover. And I miss this one so much. I never thought I would fall in love with a fabric cover like I have, but I really, really have. I don't know what it is. So I was in this A5 and my setup was basically this notebook, and then I had, or my Hobonichi, and then I had this A5 Slim notebook from from Kokuyo. And I use this for my collections. This is the same thing that I do when I'm in my traveler's notebook. I always use a notebook for all my collections because I planned on using my daily pages in here to journal, which I did do for a little bit. So I have shared this guy with you. So let me just flip through my pages really quickly. I love the layout in here. The monthly, like I said, Hobonichi has such a clean layout. You're free to do whatever you want with it, and I really, really like that. This was my December spread. I think I did share this on Instagram, and I did pre-plan a little bit into January before I had my new one. But I love the weekly layout in here. It's just a vertical layout. But I really like it. It allows me to use stickers if I want to. As you know, most of the stickers on Etsy, I know now there are more sizes coming out, but for the most part, stickers are made to fit Erin Condren planners, and these fit pretty well in here. The columns are slightly more narrow than Erin Condren, but it works really well for me. I love the small grid in here because it helps me keep my handwriting small. I don't like my handwriting when it's really big. It looks messy to me. So I like this. And you'll notice as I'm flipping through here that my planning style changes. I did not plan for a couple weeks. Here I just used mainly pen. Here I think I was on a trip. Yeah, I was traveling here. Then I went back to pens. And I kind of got in a rut with my planning. I got tired of using stickers, which I know is crazy, but I'm kind of over that right now. Not over stickers completely because I really do love them. PlannerJules on Instagram, she's really awesome. I totally am inspired by her, aka blatantly copying her, because I love her style. I think it's so clean. It looks so laid back and easy. This is what my weeks basically look like now. What I found was that my favorite pen at the time, I don't have it with me. Nope. Was the Uniball Signo DX. I was using that in here, but they smear with highlighters. Not after you let them dry for a while, but if you try to highlight right away, which is what I like to do, they smear. So what I ended up doing was switching over to ballpoint. I know, ballpoint. I went to my Uni Jetstream. The Uni Jetstream works wonderfully. The ink is super smooth. It doesn't really skip. It's dark. I like the sizes. They're available in 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7. I typically use 0.3 in my Hobonichi, and I've got a couple here. These 3 are Jetstream. This is my favorite barrel because I got the metal barrel because I do tend to break my barrels eventually, the plastic ones anyway. I actually just got this one, which is another Jetstream, but it's in the plastic barrel, just because I wanted to have 2 in case I needed to lend somebody one, or I left one at my desk, which has happened with this guy a lot. And then I've got one that's the multi-pen that I actually used to use at school and have now transferred into my pencil case because I use just a single. I actually use 2 of these. It's at work now. I actually recently just got this one too, which is an acro ball. I think it's Pilot, yeah. And this is in 0.5 and it works the same way. It's really good, but I prefer the Jetstream. So I've been using that, and that doesn't smear. You can highlight it right away, like I just finished writing and highlight, and it works perfectly. It doesn't smear. So this is what it's looking like. Everything is color coded. It doesn't have to be color coded. It just makes it look cool, and I like that. I do still add like bigger pieces like this. This is the logo for a local planner group. These are sticky notes that I've been putting on here, but this is what it looks like pretty much. I drew a little baby Jesus for Christmas. He looks like an egg, I'm aware, but I think he's adorable. And so yeah, so I used this until the very end. It was super satisfying because the 31st was on a Sunday. Love that, made me very happy. So anyway, at first I used my dailies to journal in. Eventually I stopped the journaling and I would write down what I did every day, which we'll talk about in my 2018 setup if you want to watch that. And I started using the daily pages for notes. I was pretty proud of myself for 2017 because I did journal more than I ever have before. So that was really cool, but I got tired of it. So I do have a different plan for my daily sheets for 2018, and I will share that in my setup. But that was basically what I did in 2017. I was really happy that I stayed in this for 6 months. I used the entire thing, not all the daily sheets, but I feel fine about that. I did make good use out of this. I really, really like it. I am so happy that I decided to try Hobonichi last year. I'm kind of miffed that I didn't try it until last year. I mean, I had been watching videos about it for at least a couple of years, and I was too afraid to try it because I didn't think I could make use of the daily pages. So sucks that I didn't do it then, but I'm excited that I'm doing it now. And if you have not tried the Hobonichi system, you definitely should. If you think the A5 is too big for you, try it anyway, because that's what I thought. I thought it was too big. It really isn't. It's half letter size, which is great. It's not really that big. It's roomy, but it's not too big that you can't carry it around or anything, especially if you keep it slim, which is my plan for 2018. So yeah, that was basically all I used in 2017. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any comments or whatever, leave them down below. I'd love to start a conversation with you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas holiday season. I hope you're having a great new year. Bye everyone.